Hi, Brandon Walker, more Cowbell. Look at there. Here we are in the SEC Country Studios, back again. Took the day off yesterday. Landshark, Terp, they took a well-needed day off. Well-deserved. I didn't need it because, I'm that good. But they did. They needed it, and they got it. So we were not here yesterday. We are here today in the SEC Country Studios. And we have a packed show. We have a lot that we have to get to in a very short amount of time. Got a couple things we're going to do today. I don't know, Terp. We got a happy thing we're going to do and then a sad thing. Should I go ahead and get the sad one out of the way? I got to let people get in here.
I would start with that.
Yeah, I'll let people get in here. Enough people that knows. Let's get up to 100 and then we'll talk about that. And then we'll have our little ceremony. We're going to have a ceremony here today before the show. Are you excited? I'm excited because I know what it's about. I know what it's about, and I'm so excited. Everybody's snowed in at work. Chad Mask is snowed in at work in Shannon. Steve C. says Snowmageddon in Stark Vegas. Snowy Sullivan, Alabama. So the snow has gotten to everybody listening. It hasn't gotten to us yet. It's still sunny outside here.
It's coming tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to try to leave a little early. What time are you leaving? Are you leaving early?
Probably 4:30.
Well, you leave at 4:30 every day, though.
It's absolutely false, but okay.
Don't you?
No, I mean, I guess now
most
the
days.
season's over most days.
Okay. Avon, Mississippi. Hello, Kenny Manning, just making towns up, as he always does. Bonnie Williamson Gable. So, let me do the sad thing first, and then we will do the happy thing. So, we got Terp, we got Landshark, we got me on this show. We also have a young man named Cesar Perez, and he's been on the show before. He's one of Bonnie's favorite because he's good looking. So he comes on the show and he does some fun stuff every now and then. He works behind the scenes. He does the graphic. He did this graphic right here. Cesar was involved in a car wreck on Friday, in near Macon, Georgia. He on the interstate. He was hit head on by somebody going the wrong way, and he is not doing great. He is in the hospital. I don't think he's woken from his. I think he's in a coma. And it stinks because he's probably one of the favorite people here. He gets along with everybody, and he is, he's one of our favorites. And it's really, really tough. But he is fighting it. He's pulling through. He's, all signs are good so far. But if you're the praying type, please go ahead and pray for Cesar Perez, part of this show. He is he needs it, and he is fighting through it. All right, I think that covers it. Don't you think, Terp?
Yeah, that was good.
Good, yeah. So, that's tough. It's really tough. It has sucked the last couple of weeks. Now, let's go ahead and talk about something else so we can transition to the happy thing. Because the happy thing is something that's been building up for a little while. And I'll pass along all of your prayers to Cesar and all of that. We've talked to his family. He is doing as well as can be expected. They expect him to walk again. So stuff like that. So hopefully, we look back on this in a couple of weeks and everything's okay. But, so this is more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast with Brandon Walker here on SEC Country. We got Cowbell. We got our Cowbell here. Landshark, if you want to start making your way into the studio, it is time to say goodbye to another piece of this show. And it's not Landshark, unfortunately. It's time to say goodbye to another piece of the show. This helmet, you have served us well. You have done your job. You have been on this desk. Don't touch the helmet yet. I'm talking to the helmet. Sorry. You have done a great job. You are a Tyler Russell era helmet from 2009, 2010, and we needed you. But now, I'm proud to say, you are no longer needed here on More Cowbell. Goodbye, old helmet. And hello, beautiful. Hello. Look at that SOB right there. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. That is our new helmet, courtesy of the marketing department and Mississippi State University. That is, look at it. What do I have to say? And that's a legit helmet. That's got the whole deal right there. And that's it. I don't know. That might be Ayers Williams helmets. I don't know. But that is something. That is a fantastic new addition to the show. And people did not like the old helmet. People did not like the old helmet. It's gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's going to be in its new home, which will be my desk or my house. Probably just going to walk out of here with it without telling anybody. Although that was probably stupid to say out loud just now, but I am going to take it home. Or my desk. One of those. The helmet's mine is what I'm trying to tell you. All right? If you're back there, if you're one of my bosses, I'm taking the helmet. And we can have this fight later, but the helmet's mine. I'm the one that bought the new helmet or got the new helmet, so I should be able to take the old helmet, right? All right. Kenny Manning is right. Thanks, Brett Hobart. Thanks, Leah Beasley. Leah Beasley with the marketing department. All those guys were very helpful. I reached out and said, hey, I have an old helmet. Can we do something about it? And Leah Beasley said, yes, and here it is. And it's not only that. Terp is wearing his brand new More Cowbell shirt.
That I am.
He is wearing his More Cowbell t-shirt that I'll wear on the show tomorrow. It's not one of ours. It's the Mississippi State More Cowbell with MOOR. So, boy, we packed a lot into this little 5 or 6 minutes. A lot of emotional punch here. But all right, let me get you all in here. Let's get everybody settled. Ginger Tuck's here. Grace Thacker Good's here. Melissa Hikes Robertson. Bonnie Williamson Gable. The ladies are here today. The ladies are out in force. Calm down, Landshark. Somebody says, show us Terp. You don't want that. No, you don't want that at all.
I also don't want to get up. So
no, he's not moving. So millennials, right? Yeah. Who we got here? St. Louis has returned to the party. Hello, Ryan McMichael. Hello, Tim Lee. Good morning. Hello, McGee, Stephen Stafford. Is it snowing where you are? I think for most of you, the answer is yes. It is either snowing or has snowed. I know Bonnie's way down south. I don't think it snowed where she is. Hasn't snowed where we are. Get baseball and softball helmets. Good idea, Kenny Manning. Good idea. I do need to get, for baseball season, I should have a baseball helmet. Although it would just have to replace the cowbells because this beautiful thing right here is not going anywhere. I just want to pet it the whole show. That's what I want to do. Not snowing here, just 13 degrees, says Derek Whitford out in Oklahoma. Snow in Stark, Vegas. Snowing in Brandon, Mississippi. Clinton, Missouri. Houston, Texas. Nobody's working today, huh? Yellville, Arkansas. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Snowing in Hazelhurst. Not snowing in McGee. Summerall, snow is on the... Wow, it's going to snow in Summerall? It's going to snow that far down? I didn't realize it was snowing that far south. Need your intro music as a ringtone. I don't know how I can make that happen. I guess I could send you the file if you want it. Just message your email address to Facebook message this account, Mississippi State Bulldogs SEC Country, your email address, and I'll just send you the raw file of the intro. Does that work? That'll work, Terp, don't you think?
Yeah, sure.
Can't you take a raw MP3 file and just make it your ringtone if you want?
Just put their email and send it over.
Snowing in Kosciuszko, snowing in Kennedy, Alabama. Maybe a football or basketball behind your left shoulder. Did you see how stupid I am? How my mind was like, which one's my left shoulder? No, I did. I was like, hold on, which side does he mean? Because this is I guess this is left on the screen, right? And then this is my left shoulder in real life. But this is left if you're looking at me. So I was like, I'm very stupid. I'm not smart at all. Might snow down by Baton Rouge for a second time this year. Wow. Second time this year. So I don't know what we're going to get. Last time in December, they told us here in Atlanta we need to watch out because we're probably going to get about an inch of snow. About an inch of snow. You remember this? And I got a foot of snow at my house. I got a straight foot of snow. And when you're expecting an inch and you get a foot, that's a big difference. Hail State from Ringgold, Georgia. I know it's going to be snowing where he is later today. All right. Oh, it's already 11:55. We got to go. So today on the show, we're going to talk about looking around the SEC. We know State is primed to have a good team in 2018. But let's look around the SEC and see what the factors will be. Will the SEC be down? Will it be up? How will it affect Mississippi State's roster? We'll just look around the SEC at the offseason, and I think some teams are just getting out of State's way. LSU. I think some teams are just tanking and getting out of the way. That's what I think. We'll talk about the basketball team. I told you I wouldn't do it, but I'm just so mad about it and just so depressed about it. I got to give you a couple of opinions I have on the basketball team. Thank goodness for baseball. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. And then maybe our last shot of Jack, because we're just out of clips. I got to figure out where to get clips, but we'll have a shot of Jack. 3 clips of Jack Crystal on the show today. Now, Terp, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked from my trucks yelling, but yes, I'm ready.
This is not a joke for the TV cameras right now. Don't you ever do that again. I promise you. I don't care if I get fired too. Whew. All right. Are you ready? Let's go.
The More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country, coming to you from the SEC Country studio here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Nice outside so far. It's really nice. It's about 45 degrees. But I know that snow is coming, and likely if you're listening to me today, you have snow on the ground outside your house. You might be snowed in. You might not be able to go to school. You might not be able to go to work. So congratulations. You get to stay home and listen to me. Think about that. Every life decision you ever made led up to this moment, listening to me on a podcast. How depressing is that? Anyway, on today's show, we're going to talk very quickly. We're going to talk about the SEC in 2018. We know that Mississippi State is going to have a good roster for 2018. We know that. We know they're going to have a good quarterback. We know that they're going to have a good defense. Everything points to a good season for Mississippi State. But what about the rest of the SEC? What about the rest of the SEC? Could State have a great season? Could they have a good season? Are they going to run into problems because the SEC is so good? Or are other teams just getting out of the way? Are they going the different direction than State is? Hello, Baton Rouge. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about basketball. I know I said I wouldn't talk about basketball on the show, but honestly, I'm just so mad about it, so depressed about it, so befuddled about it. I've got a couple of opinions I've got to get out there. Thank goodness for baseball. We'll talk about baseball at the end of the show. It seems to be the shining light as far as spring men's sports for Mississippi State. I think it's going to be a good season, and certainly the excitement over the new stadium is very, very high. And we'll have a shot of Jack towards the end of the show. 3 more crystal clips. He is the best of all time. We'll enjoy that together at the end of the show. Now, sounds like you guys are having fun. I got a lot of people here today. The snow day has forced a lot more people in here than normal. Although, no, I guess the numbers are about right. Let me very quickly say something on the podcast that I said on the video. We have a friend of the show here. We have Terp. We have Landshark, we have me, and we have a guy named Cesar Perez who does our graphic work. He did the graphic that hangs behind me. He was involved in a car accident on Friday. He was hit head-on the interstate and forced back into an 18-wheeler, which hit him. He's not doing great. He's in a coma, and he is, but signs are good. His condition hasn't worsened, and the signs are good that hopefully he'll be able to make a recovery. But we certainly are praying for Cesar. It sucks. It stinks because he's a big part of the team here. Probably one of the favorite guys in the office. Me and him are probably the 2 most favorite guys in the office. Yeah, it stinks. But please pray for him. If you're the praying type, I really appreciate it because he needs all he can get right now. Now, Mississippi State football 2018. Hey, Nick Fitzgerald's back. Keaton Thompson has shown he's a star in the making. Joe Moorhead is going to bring an exciting brand of offense to Mississippi State. Eris Williams is back. Kylan Hill is back. Offensive line brings back 4 starters and really 5 if you consider that the 5th guy started at least 5 games this year. Defensive line will be one of the best in the country with Jeffrey Simmons and Montez Sweat. Linebacker play just continues to be good. Defensive back, hopefully that is the question. Hopefully that comes on. Wide receiver play, Mississippi State signed 3 4-star receivers. Everything is going in the right direction for Mississippi State in Starkville. But let's talk about the SEC at large, because it isn't just about you, it's about your opponents. It's about how you match up with those opponents from year to year. It's about, being able to put together a good season based on your schedule. Like, it seems like every year that State peaks, we have to go to Alabama, and that's the same this year. We're going to peak in 2018. We got to go to Alabama. And that stinks, but it is what it is. But how will all the offseason movement around the SEC affect Mississippi State in 2018? What will the rest of the league look like in 2018? I think it boils down most years for Mississippi State to 2 teams. And where those teams are and where State is can really tell the tale of the season, because right now Arkansas is down, A&M's down, your offseason or your cross-conference opponent, Kentucky, hasn't really been a factor save 1 year in the last 10 years. But I really think when it comes to judging a Mississippi State season at the beginning, you need to talk about the LSU-Auburn games first. You always need to talk about those games first, because LSU's always been so early, it sets the tone. Auburn has often been early, it sets the tone. And if you're going to be an SEC championship contender coming out of the West, you have to beat at least 2 of Auburn, LSU, Alabama. You have to. You can get by with a loss to 1, but you got to beat 2 of the others. And that means State's going to have to beat LSU and Auburn next year in 2018. Auburn comes to Mississippi State. That's a big deal. That will be one of the biggest games of the season. I look at Auburn. They bring back Jared Stidham. He'll probably be the first-team All-SEC quarterback in the preseason. But they lose a lot more on offense. They lost 3 offensive linemen. They're losing Kerryon Johnson, their running back, who pretty much did everything for them. They also lost the other running back, Petway. Did I get his name wrong? But they lost the other running back. And every time somebody not named Kerryon Johnson carried the ball for Auburn this year, it was average. It wasn't good. Their receivers are average. Got a bunch of slot guys. It's not all that different from Mississippi State as far as the receiver position. They can't really hurt you down the field very much. But Auburn, I think, is losing enough to make that an expected win for Mississippi State in Starkville. I do. Now, that'll be close. Auburn's going to be a preseason top 10 team, but State should be. That's my opinion. LSU is a different story. Auburn's still going to be pretty good. And I think if you're power ranking the SEC for 2018, it starts with Alabama and Georgia. And then your first decision is Auburn or Mississippi State at number 3. And whoever you don't decide goes at number 4. I think that's clearly the top 4 teams in the league for 2018. I don't think there's a doubt about that. But LSU, State has to go to Tiger Stadium this year. And LSU, to me, is the biggest ticking time bomb in the Southeastern Conference. First of all, they're getting ravaged by the NFL draft right now. They're losing plenty of underclassmen. They're going to lose at least 3 offensive linemen. They're losing their quarterback, Danny Etling. As bad as he was, that was their quarterback. They're losing Darius Geis. They're losing all their receivers. They're losing defensive help. And they're not losing Ed Orgeron, which is the biggest problem they got. Going into the second year, Ed Orgeron's about to tank that program. It's going to happen. They've already lost their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, who they gushed about all offseason. And they had to overpay Dave Aranda to stay. $2.5 million for a coordinator. They had to do that because why else would he stay? They're paying a guy $2.5 million to lead the number 5 defense in the SEC. That's ridiculous. And when Ed Orgeron screams at this guy, and this guy's making $2.5 million, how do you think it's going to end? They lose every single playmaker, and they keep the worst coach in the SEC. LSU is heading downhill, and they're heading downhill fast. Mississippi State's going to win in Tiger Stadium in 2018. So I think State can win both those games. I'm not going to talk about Alabama. I'm not going to talk about Alabama because you know that's the game we haven't been able to win lately. Just haven't been able to do it. So we'll skip that. But next, I think you got to worry about Ole Miss Ole Miss will be not as good as Mississippi State in 2018. I don't think that's controversial opinion. But they weren't as good as Mississippi State, not even close in 2017, and they won the game. They came out. You can question their tactics, but they were at least ready to play. And Mississippi State, with their coach halfway to Gainesville, really wasn't. Can't let it happen again. Can't lose to an inferior Ole Miss team anymore. You can't do it. It ruins seasons. It takes away momentum. You got to take care of business in Oxford next year. Have to. State will be much better. State will be better at quarterback. They'll be better at running back. They won't be as good at wide receiver. They'll be better on the offensive line. They'll be better on defensive line. Ole Miss will have a very good offense, but their defense will be among the worst in the country again. It was terrible this year, and they lost Breland Speaks, and they lost Marquise Haynes. But State somehow lost to that team. You can't lose that game anymore. Not when you're the better team. Arkansas is still going to be down. A&M still going to be down. I think Jimbo Fisher, probably a good hire at A&M, although the money was crazy. Jimbo Fisher is going to get it going, but not in his first year. Not with Nick Starkel at quarterback. Not going to happen. I'm not buying them in 2018. I'm not buying Arkansas. In the East, it's Georgia and everybody else, although Florida, who we play, will be much improved. They'll get some players back that were injured. They'll get some players back that were suspended. They got a better coach. They'll be pretty good. I think State should still handle them on September 29th. Kentucky, our cross-conference opponent, they're soft. Should win that game. But I look around the SEC, and I see nothing but opportunity for Mississippi State. With Auburn just coming down a little bit, LSU coming down a lot, I think that creates the opening Mississippi State needs to get into that top 3 of the SEC. That's what this whole thing is about. I think State is a top 3 SEC team this year, and it's because LSU has tanked their program by hiring Ed Orgeron. It's because Auburn is going to take a slight step back. Speaking of the SEC, how about this Hugh Freeze to Alabama crap? What? Hugh Freeze, Nick Saban would hire Hugh Freeze? I don't think he's going to hire him as offensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to hire him at all. But he did interview him. I mean, he was over there. And I just don't understand. Whatever. Hugh Freeze had good offenses at Ole Miss. Hugh Freeze could recruit. Well, I don't. Everybody says, because he's a great recruiter. Do we really think Hugh Freeze is a great recruiter, or were the tactics great recruiters? Because I don't think Hugh Freeze is a great recruiter. Anyway, I don't think he's going to hire him as offensive coordinator for one reason. Hugh Freeze, even when he was going good, even when his teams were 9-3, even when they were pretty good, couldn't run the ball. Couldn't run it a bit. Their schemes, whatever, they were soft. They could not run it. With 4-star, 5-star running back, didn't matter. They never ran the ball effectively. They were always in the bottom 3 in running the ball. That doesn't work at Alabama. Not with what they got. So I just don't think it fits. Also, it would be hilarious to see Nick Saban cuss out Hugh Freeze on the sideline. That would be fantastic. I would be all for that. Let's move on to basketball now. Talking basketball. Mississippi State basketball lost again to Auburn on Saturday, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's not State's not a very good team. Their record's good because they scheduled their way into it. You know, non-conference schedule was awful. But I'm all up in my feelings about this basketball team because I'm just past time. I just want them to be good so bad, and it's been too long. 7 years is too long to be bad in anything. We have Vanderbilt tonight. It'll be a tiny crowd because of the weather and the two teams playing. Hopefully we win that. Got to win it. You got to win it. But let's just be honest with each other. I'm a State guy. You're State people. We're all family here, right? The Ben Allen era, to this point, has been a disappointment. It has. There's no denying that. I don't know how anyone could deny that. I would assume Ben Allen might say that. I don't think that's a controversial statement. But it doesn't mean we can't get going. It doesn't mean Howland can't get it going. Bruce Pearl at Auburn, a great example. Bruce Pearl took to his 4th year, but they're rolling right now. They're good. They're going to be a top 20 team when the AP poll probably already came out, but they're probably a top 20 team today. They're rolling. And Howland has been recruiting at that level where Bruce Pearl is. So next year it could possibly happen. It's just so frustrating that it hasn't happened yet. It's just so frustrating that it has taken this long. And yes, it's only been 2.5 years for Howland, and I guess that's fair, but for us as State fans, it's been 7 years. It's been Stansbury's last year. It was the 3 years under Rick Ray when Scott Strickland made the dumbest hire in the history of Mississippi State sports. I still don't know what he was thinking. He did rectify it when he hired Ben Howland, but it just hasn't gotten going yet. It's so frustrating. So I look at the numbers. This team has the biggest problem in basketball. You can say lack of hustle. You can say lack of this, lack of that, lack of whatever. But the biggest problem in basketball is if you can't shoot. If you can't score, if you can't just go out there, roll the balls out, and put the ball in the basket, you can't win basketball games. Doesn't matter how hard you play. Doesn't matter how smart your coach is. If you can't shoot, you're done. And for whatever reason, this team can't shoot. And it has good shooters. It has guys that have been good shooters in the past. I'm going to give you some numbers right now. Quindarius Weatherspoon last year as a sophomore shot 37% from three. This year, he's shooting 32%. He lost 5%. Tyson Carter went from a 36% three-point shooter as a freshman to a 29% three-point shooter as a sophomore. Lamar Peters went from 36% as a freshman to 17%, which is wretched, which is embarrassing, which anybody, even if you've never picked up a basketball, you can go out and make at least 2 of 10 three-pointers. That is 1.7 out of every 10 three-pointers. That is embarrassing. Eli Wright went from 40% to 17%. Why are the shooters forgetting how to shoot? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. What is happening in practices? What is happening in games that makes these guys not be able to hit open shots? The shots aren't that bad. They're just not making them. I've had people say, why don't they put Eric Holman down on the block? Why does he keep shooting threes? You know why? Because he's the only one on the team that can shoot the damn thing. Eric Holman shoots 51% from three. 51%. He's made 22 of 41. He is far and away the best shooter on the team so far this year. So I say, if anything, put him out there more. It's just frustrating. How do shooters forget how to shoot? That is not something that I've ever really seen. Not to this level. Maybe one guy goes through a slump, maybe two guys, but the whole team just forgets how to shoot? Something's wrong. He said, I think yesterday in his press conference, that we didn't have legs in the second half against Auburn because he practiced them too hard. And I understand that. And practicing them too hard could explain losing some percentage on shots. But why are you practicing them so hard then? If I just don't understand it. It's a veteran coach. This is not his first rodeo. He knows how to do this. But it ain't working right now. And the shooting is just a mystery to me. Thank God for women's basketball. Boy, those girls are something else. 9,000 people, 9,500 people to see them on a Sunday. What Vic Schaefer has built has been amazing. And that probably makes the men's team look even worse, that the women's team has come out of nowhere to do this. I still think Howland's going to get another year. I don't think Howland should be fired. He should not be. He deserves another year. I just wish it had happened before now. I just wish we were a lot better than we are. And maybe that's my fault for being an irrational fan. Thank goodness for baseball, though. Baseball's coming. On Saturday, after we lost to Auburn, I tweeted out when's first pitch, and you would have thought I threw chum in the water. Here came the State fans that were just excited and wanted to talk about baseball. I like baseball. I've never been a huge fan of college baseball because, again, I thought the exclusivity of our old stadium really hampered some people from enjoying the game. But Mississippi State baseball this year is going to have a great pitching staff. They have a coach who is nothing but excitement. You cannot look at Andy Cannizaro and not get excited about the future of this program. The recruiting, the approach, the way he talks to fans, everything about Andy Cannizaro draws you to him. And I think guys like me who are just kind of fringe college baseball fans who would go to enjoy the atmosphere are going to – there's a lot more out there like me. And there's a huge, huge, huge chunk of state baseball fans that live and die with everything. But there's also a group like me who I think Andy Cannizaro is going to bring in and really rally behind this team. And the new stadium, it looks like it's going to be the nicest non-Major League Baseball stadium in the country, possibly. It's just, how excited can you get over one team? And that's where I'm at. I'm so excited to see baseball start. I'm so ready for spring. Might be the weather, too, because I'm just tired of cold weather. I'm tired of snow. been a terrible winter so far. I'm ready to sit in the sun and watch somebody hit a ball around. All right. You ready to do a shot of Jack? Because you look like you're texting over there, Terp. Jack Crystal, the greatest of all time. The greatest play-by-play announcer of all time in college sports. Keith Jackson died over the weekend, and he's regarded as one of the greats, and rightfully so. But when it comes to the radio booth, Jack Crystal was the greatest. And every now and then on this show, we like to go back, play a couple of clips, and enjoy and reminisce. We're about out of clips, though. I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do because I don't have any clips left that you haven't heard. 2 of the ones we're playing today, we've already played on the show, and then we've got one that we discovered that we've never played. But Jack Crystal died 3 years ago, actually 3.5 years ago now. His memory lives on. He is, again, the greatest, to me. If you're making a list of the greatest things ever involved with Mississippi State, Jack Crystal's probably at the top. He is probably at the very, very top. So, Terp, play clip number 1.
Bulldogs are going to go to the shotgun formation. They've got Justin Griffith in the backfield alongside Wayne Matkin. He's heading for the corner. Matkin's going to run it. Matkin gets to the end zone, scores! Matkin, ball scores, and the Bulldogs win the ball game in overtime, winning it 43-41. Wrap this one in Mississippi State maroon and white.
So that was in honor of the fact that if you look outside your house right now, if you're listening to me and you're from Mississippi, you probably have snow on the ground. You probably didn't go to school today or work because there's snow in the forecast and there's snow on the ground, there's snow in the sky. And that night in Shreveport, Louisiana in 2000, there was snow on the ground. Actually, it was 2000. It was New Year's Eve 2000. There was snow on the ground, a lot of it. Mississippi State was in the white uniform. Snow Bowl against Texas A&M. I don't have to remind you. You know the game. It was incredible. Good win for Mississippi State and a great call right there by Jack Crystal. Clip number 2.
So it's a pretty simple scenario with Kentucky leading 76-73 and 5 seconds to go. The scenario is this. Get the ball inbounds. We're speaking of Mississippi State. Put it in the hands of a shooter who can shoot from 3-point range, whatever that might be. It's anywhere in the arena now. 3 points is anywhere in the arena. And obviously past the 3-point mark. For the Kentucky, the scenario is don't let the guys in the white shirts make a 3-point basket.
2007 SEC tournament.
That little timeout is over. Mississippi State's going to inbound the pass, and Kentucky is going to extend their defense and try to retard the progress of the ball up the floor. Only 5 seconds on the clock. They put it in the hands of Jamont Gordon. Gordon driving it up the floor. Gordon pulling it up, firing for 3. Got it! With the clock running out, Gordon just hit the 3 and got it. This ball game is tied. Tie ball game, 76.
That you know what, that sound of the buzzer, of Crystal saying got it, and then the huge roar from the crowd, boy, that gets you going. I want to go work out right now. No, I really don't. Sorry, I overstated that one. But I would go work out if I were the working out type. I do have to go work out. I told you about my wife telling me that I have to work out now. Yeah, apparently I'm fat. Anyway, Jack Crystal, fantastic. That was 2007 SEC tournament. Mississippi State beat Kentucky in the first round, maybe the second round, to advance. I don't know. Did we win the tournament that year? Can't remember anything past that game. So we found one more clip. This was from a football game against Kentucky. Maybe that same year. Oh, exactly that same year. Go ahead, Terp.
Bulldogs talk about it as they break huddle at the 40. Send wide to the left side. Jamal Smith come with Tony Burks to the right side. Brandon Hart is in at fullback now. He's the up back out of the eye. And Bulldogs stay on the ground, and Dupree plunges it into the secondary, breaks it, goes to the 10, goes to the 5. He's got a touchdown.
Well, there's the big play the Bulldogs have been looking for out of the running game. And Christian Dupree just popped wide open and raced it in for the touchdown. And Mississippi State now has suddenly put the 30th point on the board up 30-14. What did you see, John Carrero?
Something about when a play would be just a running play or just going along and all of a sudden it breaks, and Jack Crystal's voice rising to that crescendo. I mean, he was the best. He would never yell at you, but he would always take his voice up to the appropriate level. And a lot of announcers yell at you, and a 2-yard gain turns into a screaming fest. Looking at you up there, also in Mississippi. But Jack Crystal never did that. He simply raised his level of talking and indicated his excitement, and he was the best. He was the best of all time. We all miss him. He was fantastic, and that's a great way to end our show on Tuesdays. Hopefully by next Tuesday we will have found some more clips. If you have any, please send them to me. Facebook Live, here I come. We'll talk about 10 minutes today. On the podcast, we'll be back tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for listening. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. All right. What's the topic today? Everybody snowed in? Everybody snowed in at your house? There's a half inch of snow on the ground, right? Everything shuts down. That's how we are in the South, right? So if you're snowed in, let me know. Let me know where you are. We can't even make a free throw. Can Vic coach men and women? Yeah, Mississippi State dead last in the SEC in free throw percentage. Dead last in three-point percentage. You can't shoot. You can't win. It's as simple as that. Now, at this level of basketball, the coaching, the scheme, everything puts players in the right position, but it doesn't matter what the coach does. It doesn't matter what anybody says. If they can't hit shots, they're done. So it has to turn around. The shooting has to get better. If it doesn't, it's going to be a very long season. Are you going to wear the old helmet to bed, Danny E. Pinter? That's very possible. Although the old helmet was just a decorative helmet. This is an actual football helmet. See, this has the whole deal in it. And this is an actual football helmet. And you can wear this one and be safe. The other one, Concussion City. This is not a real helmet. Is the game on for tonight? I would imagine so. I mean, remember a couple of years ago when Kentucky came to town, the year they were 38-0, and State played them, and it was a lot bigger snow than what we're going to get today, and we played through that. So I don't think anything's going to stop the game tonight. I could be wrong. Half inch of snow, and I'm stuck on the Pearl River Bridge in Jackson at a standstill. Everyone has lost their mind, says Roger Hale Morris. Well, I hope you get out of there, Roger. Yeah, that's not fun. That is not fun. Seems like the B-ball team just doesn't know how to win yet. Can't close the game out. Do they make that progression next year? If so, should be a good year. Says Jake Arrington. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. Brandon, I'm not sure of the rules, but could KT transfer next year to get a starting QB position for another school, says Mac McBrayer. I wouldn't worry about that, Mac. No. He'd have to sit out a year. So, no, that would be the worst move that Keaton Thompson could possibly make. He's going to play this year in 2018, and he'll be ready to start as a junior in 2019. He'll be the guy. So, no, I don't think there's anything you need to worry about Keaton Thompson transferring. Droughts during the game are killing us. The talent is there, though. It's frustrating, says Joel Edwards. I'm not sure the talent's really there. I mean, the recruiting star talent is there, but some players are not playing up to the level of their recruiting height, period. And it's just as simple as that. Schneider-Harrard clearly didn't, and he is now gone. Others clearly have not. So until you get guys playing to the level they're supposed to be playing at, this is what you got. Jack will always be the best. We need a 3 from anywhere in the arena. Junior Ray. We need a 3 from anywhere in the arena right now. He was saying, wherever you shoot it, as long as it's a 3, it's good. I mean, maybe we should start shooting from half court. I don't know. It couldn't hurt. It's not going to be any worse than what we've got now from 3-point shooters. It's not talent. They have a team full of 4 stars and a couple of 5 stars. Just need better strategy. I don't agree with you, Chamberlain Adams, but I respect your opinion. What strategy can you draw up for a team that can't shoot? Well, what strategy can you draw up for a team that can't shoot? I mean, open shots are open shots, and State can't hit them. So I don't think it's strategy. I think it's just a matter of whatever has happened to make these shooters not be very good. We got to reverse that because last year they were all good shooters. Tyson Carter, 36% as a freshman. That's good. Eli Wright, 40%. That's outstanding. Going from 40% to 17%, something's wrong. Something has happened. How impressed have you been with the new coaching staff recruiting? It seems we're going after a lot bigger fish, says Thomas Loftus. I agree. You see a lot of 4- and 5-star guys out there that are already even committed, and State's going after them, which might not make a difference for this year because those guys are already in the boat somewhere else. But it shows that this staff is not going to put a regulator on itself. It's not going to say, oh, well, he's a 5-star from Georgia, I'm not going after him. No, they're not going to do that. And you can't land those guys if you don't go after them. You can't land somebody if you don't offer them. So good for this coaching staff. Now I do hope they continue the Mississippi first approach. I would like to continue winning Mississippi in recruiting, which you've done for the last 10 years. So hopefully it's a mixture of both. But I have been impressed with this staff. On the whole, I've been very impressed. Steven Stafford. No, I don't think Mac's a troll. I just think he was asking the question. Keaton Thompson. You don't have to worry about that guy. That guy's true maroon all the way. Les Young here in New Braunfels. How do you say that? New Braunfels, Texas. No snow, but freezing rain and sleet. No work today. Good opportunity to listen in. Miss Jack. And looking forward to some baseball. Freshmen from here on baseball team this year. Excited to see him progress. What's his name? I don't know his name. It's because of practice. If it's because of practicing too hard that's wearing them down, back off practice and try it anyway. It can't hurt. Could be. You tell me how a guy goes from shooting 36 to 29, 36 to 17, and 40 to 17. If it were one guy, whatever. But it's the whole team that has gotten worse shooting threes outside of Eric Holman. Eric Holman should shoot every three we take. He's making 51%. Reggie Perry coming in next year. He's a monster. And the kid from Columbus, Robert Woodard. Next year has to be the year for Howland. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Perry's going to help. Perry's definitely going to help. You guys are see, basketball is just depressing right now. Can we talk about restaurants or something? I made some wings last night, Terp. I made barbecue wings and cheese fries.
At home?
Yeah, I just had a sports bar at my house. Yeah.
Where's my invite?
Huh?
I want some of those.
No, you're never invited to my house. I like your shirt though.
Thank you.
I like your more Cowbell shirt.
Thank you.
It's nice. I'm gonna wear mine tomorrow.
I wear mine every day.
Every single day. 70 degrees in Melbourne, just broke a sweat, says Ken and Renee Williams. Ken and Renee Williams, obviously bad people. Because they're taunting us with their Melbourne, Florida temperature. That's fine. Will the women beat Tennessee this weekend? I think is it Thursday night? I believe it's Thursday night. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Sunday. I don't know. But yeah, I think State can beat Tennessee on the road. I definitely think that. Big game. If they do, look out. I don't think there's anything standing in the way of State being a number 1 seed if they win a road game at Tennessee. Chamberlain Adams says they are not passing enough before jacking up shots. Also, they need to shoot more twos. They either drive or jack a three. They're not good at either. Well, if you're not good at driving and you're not good at shooting threes, I don't know what to tell you, because those are very integral parts of basketball. And if you can't do it, you're not going to win games. And State's not winning games. Very simple. Live in Noonan, looking for good restaurants in Atlanta. Any recommendations? What are your restaurant recommendations? Not you. Terp?
I have to think about that. I don't know. I have like a really nice steakhouse.
What is it?
It's Rathburn's.
Rathburn's Steakhouse in Atlanta. And Landshark shakes her head.
Good.
How expensive? How expensive is a steak, a ribeye steak?
Probably 60 to 70.
Woo!
Probably $70. Good though.
I mean, does it
Good eat.
does it take you home? Does it drive you home?
Yeah, it does.
Does it do your taxes for you? I mean, I love a good steak, but $60 for a steak, man. Have you ever eaten at Fogo de Chao? I know it's a chain restaurant,
Yes.
but have you eaten there?
Very big fan.
Oh God,
Huge
it's
fan
good.
of that. You know, there's one like right here. Right?
I know. I ate that one. When Brian Haydad came over to Atlanta, me and him went there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it costs $50. Of course, his
Right.
meal cost $150, but we ate there. It's incredible.
Good spot for sure.
It is good. I bet Richard Williams could win with the talent on this team, says Steven Stafford. To be determined. I mean, Ben Allen has a great reputation. He has a great resume. I'm inclined to believe if he can't win with this team, maybe it's not him. Maybe it's just the player. Maybe they're not as good. If Ben Allen can't win with this team, I'm not sure that Richard Williams could, although I love Richard Williams. You guys know that. He's one of my favorites. I'm starting Nutrisystem tomorrow. You're talking about wings and cheese fries and steak is making me rethink my decision. Yeah, Bonnie. I mean, listen, start Nutrisystem if you want, but I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to go out and have the foods that you deserve to have. Bonnie, we want you to be happy. Terp, is there anything more in the world you want than Bonnie Williamson Gable to be happy?
No, I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything. Anything. Except making it home before it snows in Atlanta today. That's all I really want to do in my life.
Up there.
Yeah, that is way up there. He couldn't win it all with Westbrook and Kevin Love. Okay, he ran into Florida. I don't. How can you possibly say, "Oh, that coach sucks because he didn't win it all"? He got to the final game. He got to the Final Four. If you get to the Final Four, he did it 3 times in a row. If you get there, you're giving yourself a chance to win. You're not always going to win. Who was beating Joakim Noah? Who was beating Al Horford? Nobody was. Yeah, I don't agree with that take, Jonathan Brassfield. Great steaks and better price at Russell's in Corinth. Russell Steakhouse in Corinth. Very good. Very good
You
steak.
ever been to Antico?
I've never been to anything in Atlanta, hardly.
It's like in Little Italy in Atlanta.
There's a Little Italy in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's like literally very little. It's like 3 buildings.
That's very little.
Yeah, but it's
That's not even close to
Antico's-
as big as the real Italy.
Antico is probably the best pizza I've had in Atlanta. And then Gio's is right next to it, just like all their pastas and chicken.
Antico's Pizza.
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
It's like $20 a pie. It's expensive, but they fly all their stuff in from Naples, Italy, like day of. I
Really?
believe.
Not Naples, Florida? Not Naples,
It's also
Mississippi?
BYOB, so cooler.
I don't
If you
drink.
like. You can bring whatever you want.
Mm.
Soda.
I'm bringing
water.
sweet tea?
Yeah.
Wait, they don't serve you any drinks?
No, they can serve you.
Okay.
But it's BYOB, so why would you?
Do you celebrate Taco Tuesday? What kind of question is that?
Yes.
What do you think? Of course I do. I celebrate Taco Tuesday, Burrito Wednesday, Mexican Rice Thursday, Enchilada Friday. Celebrate it all, the whole calendar. Kermit Davis should be the next coach. His team scores on the inside and plays team ball. Kermit Davis, if he got a chance to be Mississippi State's coach, I would be all on board with him. He succeeds at a lower level. Could he succeed at this level? I don't know. But it'd be worth a look if he couldn't. No, I don't know how many, if this job were to open, I don't know what kind of interest you would get, but I'm sure John Cohen would at least make that phone call. You have 4 kids and you don't drink? Does Bonnie Williamson Gable? That's correct. I do not. Every now and then I'll have a 6-pack of beer, like once a year, but otherwise I don't really drink. Might have a bottle of wine once a year. I used to eat at Stony River in Atlanta. Get the 22-ounce cowboy steak. 22-ounce cowboy steak.
Another good. That's a good spot. There's a lot of them around here.
I had the old 96er, the Mountain Lodge. No, you're too young. Okay.
I just don't know what that means.
It's okay. The old 96er, anybody? Land Shark? Nothing? Oh, she's getting that twitch again. Getting that
Home
twitch.
run.
She all right?
I think so.
Can we pick a different referee pool in women's basketball? The no calls and bad calls gave Alabama a spark against a better team. That could be bad. Yeah, the officiating, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the officiating in women's basketball is bad. The officiating in men's basketball is bad. The officiating in college basketball is just atrocious. And it's not just us. Thank you, Great Outdoors. Mark Mackey Callahan and Sarah Banks got it. It's a movie from the 1988 Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. Nothing? It's a good movie.
Never even heard of it. Great outdoor. Yep. Idea. Probably good though.
All right. Somebody, whose phone is that?
It's fine.
Great Outdoors. Let's end on the Great Outdoors. I want to thank you for being here. Come back tomorrow. Nothing left on that plate but gristle and fat. All right. Come back tomorrow. We'll be here. We're here every day, 10:45. Weather permitting, I guess, but I think we're going to be here. Until next time, thank you for being here. I'm Brandon Walker. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.